Greetings and welcome to Spider McGowan Porch Channel. This time, we are pleased to present the Nintendo 64, including The Legend of Zelda. That's going to be awesome. So, the cartridge appears to be in playable condition. We'll definitely take it apart, clean those contact pads. We're also going to disassemble the console, clean it. I am thinking I am going to go ahead and modify my console and put some blue LEDs for the for the operational light, as well as underglow, like 2 of them for underneath it, so that when you turn the console on, it'll glow from underneath. I think that would be very cool. But yeah. Let's definitely get started. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, because I know I am. And yes, we will take the Nyko booster pack apart, clean that too, polish those contact pads in there if I can get it completely apart. I took a previous one of these apart, and the back half of it was thermal adhesive to it, thermally adhere to it. So I didn't have the adhesives to separate it, so I didn't get the one side on all too well. But we'll work on this one here in a little bit. Yeah, let's definitely tear this console apart. Ugh, the N64. How many years have I had this? Because this is the one that I actually grew up with. This is my original console. This is the one that I purchased, was it 98 or 99 when this console came out? It was, what does it say on the date on here? Is there any dates? 96? Yeah, 1996. Well, I ended up getting this in 98, right? And at that time, I believe Zelda had not been released yet. Don't quote me on it. I'll look up the research and I'll do a little thing right here saying, the little description saying of when this was actually released. Actually, I'll just check the back of the cart too. So 96, same as the console too. Okay. Well, I did not receive this, long story short, until later. And in the meanwhile, while we were all waiting for, Zelda to come out, at least that fiscal year and Christmas, because I remember that one was. Yeah, my apologies if that's a little loud, but I'll fix it or correct it in post production. Make sure I get them all out. Excellent. And I am using caps to hold them. Just making sure there's no extra floating around. Nope. It seems like there's always that one that doesn't want to come out all the way. There it is. Excellent. All right. Now it should be time for the what? This is really on there. I have never opened this console. Oh, you can hear it. That was crunchy and crispy. Whew. ASMR for everybody on that one. Yikes. Yeah, this definitely needs a lot of work. Oh. Something living in there. Ooh, little critter. I don't even get my hand close to it. Awesome. All right, I'm going to soak this now. At least here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this taken down, and then we'll plan on that. Let's see here. Is this going to work? Yeah, that's going to work. Now I have it on the hammer setting. And sorry, I don't want to lose train of thought here. Okay, I'm getting a little too far ahead of myself. Yeah, the N64. I got this as a present back in the day, 2000. Was it 1998? 2000. Come on, it was way before that. And then, of course, we were waiting for this. And as the story goes, I ended up having, was it Quest 64 instead of actually Zelda 64? It was Quest 64 was the game that we ended up having. I'm gonna go ahead and hold off on the narration while I'm working on all this and getting all the screws and all that out. What we'll do is I will reminisce while I'm cleaning this. We'll talk about the game that was, Quest 64 versus when this came out, and it was just the difference between the two games was night and day. It just was. Now, my suggestion, you do not have to see, that's why I have the actual hammer setting on, or the limit. And you do not have to take these screws out right here, because these are for the heat sinks, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to soak everything. I'm going to soak it all. Be very cautious of this plate right here and see how it is oriented in your console, because this will flake off, and it even is like, it's like, how are you going to get that shield back on again? Because you may not remember. It can be a little bit difficult or tricky to put it back on again too. Only reason why I know this is because I just cleaned another lady's console for her, and it turned out amazing. So she's really happy. She gets to relive her experience playing the N64. As do I here after I'm done cleaning this thing. I'll go ahead and keep working on it. Make it out. Like I said, it's like some of these screws you don't have to remove, but I'm going to do it anyway because I really want to tear it completely down. Like, I don't want this to be assembled at all here after I'm done with it. Wow, these are really being stubborn. And you can tell this console has never been taken apart or cleaned. No servicing done to this at all. The amount of crunch that it made. And to think that I actually had this thing operating and running. Yikes. Okay, let's see here. Got those. Let's work here. This is gonna be so much fun. Yeah. I don't know what happened to my original copy of my original cartridge of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time. I don't know what happened to it. I misplaced it over the years. I don't want to say somebody took it or anything, but that happens a lot out of all of these games. So that does go underneath here like that, and it does not go on top of it like that. Correct orientation. Yeah, proper orientation like this. Now I know. Well, now at least I'll remember. Because last time I didn't remember to do that. But it was also a different model number console. So like some of these consoles are not the same. Like this plate right here, it would go down into it like this part here. It was different. It was not like this one. If I still have the video, I'll add a small little box right here. Like, there we go. I'll put a little placement setting. Take this off. This all will come out now. It's going to go in the sink. The whole thing's going to go right in the sink. I'll take this off too. Any other screws? No. Okay, you're just pressure fit on there. I've seen how it goes on her now, so we're good. Take this out too. Drop the bottom plate off. And we're going to clean all of that. And we'll resolder a new series of LEDs. Give me a second. Hey everyone, I'm back. All right, I threw I threw the rest of the shell in the sink so that it's soaking right now. And now we're going to go ahead and just sweep all the debris off of the motherboard. I saved that for you all. And these are just basically on here right now, just like loose. But give me a second here. And go ahead and sweep the debris off. Yeah, you gotta be part of it too, don't you, Mabel? Now, the whole reason why I'm taking apart this console is, one, it was filthy. You can see it was gross, right? Secondly, is that I'm having issues with it staying on consistently, like as I'm playing it. Found a piece of the shell that I needed to soak, so I threw it in the sink. Oh man, the N64. But yeah, I was having intermittent issues with it staying actively playing a game. It'll just reset for no reason whatsoever. And now I'm thinking that maybe the reason why it's doing that is because of the actual reset button needing some deoxit. And I was thinking that it could have also just be the shell itself being so grody that it, you know, held the button down for resetting it, and it kept just cycling through every so often that the button would be down just enough, and then boop, it just, you know, reset your game right in the middle of your play. And I would have that happen a lot while I was playing Conqueror's Bench for a day. And now it's just it's definitely time to clean this console. Oh man, the first day I remember getting this, and I played a little bit of Mario. A little bit. The whole day. The whole day was nothing but playing Mario 64. It was just a blast. You know, it was unlike any other game on the market at that time that I saw that was, you know, going to be Mario, or going to be that it would be fun to play, you know, that kind of thing. Like, of course, they had other consoles out there at the time too, but I was like, for readily available, this is it. You know, for games, you know, a lot of it had to do with being able to have a great selection of games on the shelf. And some of these other consoles that were around, you know, hence to say were, they didn't do it that way. They didn't have the shelf space. You know, even Sega didn't have the shelf space during the holidays around here where I'm living. So all you saw was Nintendo, because that's the reason my parents called it, you know, every console on the market a Nintendo, because that's what we all had. We had the Nintendo. Sorry about that. My phone just shut off. It stopped recording. We'll fix that. Wow, sorry about that. I had a major dry spot there talking. We'll have to edit that out or do something to the video for it. Cut it down, because, man, did I hack and cough there for a second. Why don't you guys tell me down in the description box below whether or not you got a chance to play the N64 when it first came out, and whether or not you had a chance to play either Zelda, Mario 64, or was it Castlevania 64? Yeah. A lot of time we don't want to talk about the Castlevania 64. It's fun, but I think it was a bit ambitious for the console. I mean, definitely trying to go into the footsteps. If you're going to say anything about a Castlevania game, it'd be Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the PlayStation. Trying to compete, that'd be very hard. Especially if you're stuck with a specific type of graphic engine. I'm going to be very busy today cleaning this console. And it just so happens to be my birthday, so I just getting this or having this and then receiving it while I was on a birthday, and then now being able to take it apart and clean it on my birthday, my 42nd. Yeah, I'm getting up there, creeping up there in age, man. Yeah, but I know these consoles very well. Not as well as I used to. I used to, like, I used to go by specifications, and, like, certain model numbers had certain features that other models don't. You know, like for the Super Nintendo, there's two different models, or many others. What I'm saying is like two major ones that have audio differences. That's why I was opening up. My last console was the Super Nintendo, and yeah, we were checking that and seeing what model number it was. Yeah, I'm going to spray some deoxit in there. I couldn't be more happy having Zelda, having a cartridge of Zelda back in the collection again. And because this is the game that I ended up getting for Christmas that same year. We ended up having an N64 for my birthday, and I got this for Christmas. Or was it the other way around? Actually, I think it was the Christmas before we had the console. We've had to play Mario for a while, and that's where I got Quest 64 in between that, and then I ended up getting Zelda that fiscal year for my birthday. Yeah, I think that's how yeah. It's amazing how you can remember things. This stuff is just an absolute dream come true. Alright, so what I got right here is a can of actually what it's called. It's called Deoxit, and it cleans electronics. And I think my best bet would be to go ahead and just spray some of it right here and then have it collect. Actually, you know what? Give me 1 second here. I'm going to put a paper towel down so that I don't ruin that piece of foam. Hope the camera picked that up. I don't want to ruin my piece of foam here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this down right here. And this comes out, it looks like red, like a petroleum product. And just like flood it for a little bit there, like that. Give it a little bit to drain off. And then dab it. I love that it has a very low Volk level, so you don't smell it. It doesn't smell like a really strong WD-40 petroleum product. Ooh, that turned out really good. That really cleaned it up. Here. Excellent. So that should work really well. I'll just leave that there for right now. We'll come back over here on this side too, and we'll give this a good spray of some of that deoxit too. Here, let's see if I can get it on camera a little better. Before I wasn't paying attention, and my apologies. Just trying to get it right. Remember to wear your safety glasses while you're doing this stuff. You get this squirt right up in your face. That'd be terrible. Miibu's over there having some fun. I could spray a bunch of contact cleaner all over other things else in here too, but it's just those are the only two things that I really needed to work on. Give me 1 second. I'm back. Hi everyone. Oh, my apologies. I'm having I'm having issues. Got some seasonal allergies going on right now, and it's just obnoxious. So I finished up in the meanwhile cleaning up the shell and getting all those pieces and parts all cleaned up. So now we're just working on the rest of this right here. I'm curious as to what should I use to clean this. This isn't the right one, is it? Nope. You could use a credit card if you don't have a cleaning kit. My apologies if this isn't as well narrated as usual. I'm going through a lot of nostalgia right now because I had this console when I was in the service, and while I was sick in quarters, they called it SIQ. I had this console with that the Jensen television. I may leave a link in the description box below for that previous video of me cleaning that LCD display. But I would use that in conjunction with this particular console. And what I would do is I'd Velcro it to the top of my rack, my bunk on ship. So I had the console right there at my body level, and then I had the TV screen right up above me, right, like eye level. And so here I was playing a really great game of Conker's Bad Fur Day, right? Or was it? No, it was definitely Conker's Bad Fur Day, because I knew I had an affinity for that when I was out at sea during my first and second deployments. But I was like, Bad Fur Day. While I was just laying sick in quarters in my rack because I ended up having something specific happen to me while I was So what I'm doing is I'm wetting down a paper towel and I'm wiping this down with it, and as it's wet, I come over and I pick out whatever grime or garbage that may be left behind on the contact pads inside this. And now I'm just cleaning that potential garbage off. And then I'm just going around and making sure that I get all of them. It sounds terrible, but that's the plastic itself separating. This is a very, very old product from Performance, but I still have it. That's the whole point of having these things. When you get them, you have them for almost ever. And it seems like a lot of things tonight are just becoming extra difficult. But like I said, you can use a credit card and you can do the same wipe swipe method. I have the tape on there so you guys don't see who I am, or just we gotta do that nowadays. A little bit of identity protection. But yeah, you can go right through and use a credit card. It works. Paper towel works on that too. I will never use that port on the bottom. I'm still going to end up cleaning that area. Plus, we wanted to, and before I am finished wrapping all this up, I'll have you guys admire the board too, because I know I like watching that in myself. Almost macro it. Get really up and close so you see all of the. Is it? Oh, we were properly oriented on the screen too there. Okay. I love that they actually labeled the pins. Just taking some time to admire the board. We'll change this. I'll update that here in a second. I'm just looking for any type of dark spots. Any reason why my console would continuously reset outside of just the switch? And sometimes the camera. Picks it up where my eye can't. I think we're good. And of course, we'll put this right here. I'll get my hands out of the way so you guys can take a picture of it if you want. And yes, this right here would be another consideration for using a credit card, since there's not many devices meant to clean this area right here. So just go boop, 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 boop like that, and then wipe it off on your paper towel and come back through again, and then just continuously do that until all of these have been at least attempted to be cleaned, that kind of thing. I got a couple of little things here to still scrub on, but yeah, I think we can almost wrap this up, put it back together again. Let me check those caps real quick. I want to make sure that none of them are leaking, and I don't have any electrolytic smell, so we're good on that. Okay. I'll get the rest of that cleaned off right there. But yeah, we'll go ahead and put that together again, and then we'll start working on, what do you want to work on, the jumper pack next? Yeah, we'll work on the jumper pack next, and then we'll work on Zelda, and then we'll throw it in the console, and we'll play it, and we'll see what it looks like. I may still update this, but I don't know if I'm going to record it or not. So give me a second. Hey everyone, I'm back. Okay, I actually decided to go ahead and yeah, add the LEDs. Right now I'm prepping it, and I already have my Cat 5 wires ready to go. What I'm going to do right now is, I was planning on tinning it first. And I'm going to go ahead and remove my side cutters. There. We'll edit that out real quick. All right. Hey everybody, I'm back. So what I'm going to do right now is I am trimming and clipping and getting all my wires and stuff ready for the LEDs that we're going to install. And so, to keep it from becoming a real pain, I try to make it as simple as possible. I was thinking of using some hot glue or something like that, but I was like, I don't really need to use hot glue. a soldering iron here. You could just melt a little divot. But, okay, so we want one of the LEDs to come around right here. We don't want it to get in the way of that, but let's go ahead and get the wires all set up and ready to go. Here, I'm going to move the camera up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Put a little flux. Yeah, I tell you guys, never underestimate the usefulness of flux. You got to have it on there, otherwise the solder will not adhere. Can't see that through the camera. Okay, and on LEDs, for if you could see it or not, the longer post is positive. The shorter post is negative, and to help further correct that issue, there's a flat spot on this edge right here, and it's round on the other end, so that you know what polarity they are. Sorry, I'm bumping into things. I am just stoked. I have had nothing but flashbacks from when I was in the service using the N64 and playing games on it. Is this the right solder? Yep. There we go. And so what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try to get the wires to be as straight as possible, and then I'll put the shrink tube back up against it. That worked out really well. So we'll come down here now. Get a little more solder. Just a little bit, not too much. Oops. That worked out really well. Not bad for the first wires up. Did I make them a little bit too short? Oh, no, I didn't. It's just perfect. Just a little bit too short, but it's all good. Alright, give me 1 second here. Shrink tubing's excellent. That makes me very happy. Alright, so now we're looking at wire orientation. I was thinking maybe just right like this, because it's going to hit the plate and it's going to reflect off the plate. And remember, we want a little bit of it to be what, diffused? Does that sound good? I think that would be a really good idea to do it that way. So what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and I'll put the tape right here for right now. And I'll put some hot snot down as we're going along with it. I can come down here, come back around, and then we can have it either wired up and around to the actual post of the other one. Yeah, we'll probably go to the... Now I'm debating whether or not do I want to keep that, you know, like a hard wire kind of thing, where it's going to be... I'll keep a little bit of slack right there. All right, so that's the first one. Here's the second one. I'll be back in a second. All right, so I got them somewhat where I want them to be at now. Just give me a second here. I love Cat 5 cable so that you could do all these little things with it. I'll glue this all in here. I'm thinking of either using... I really don't want to use hot snot. I don't want to use hot glue. I was thinking of using maybe some acrylic or something like that to glue it down in there. But either way. Alright, give me a second here. I'm going to go ahead and strip those wires down real quick, and then we'll test them to see if they work. Excellent. They are both testing to be fully functional. The battery's a little bit stanky, stinky. Little Super Troopers joke there. You ever watch those movies, man? Oh. Those are hilarious. Okay, I'm thinking now it's time to use some adhesive to put them in. So, give me a second. Okay, I have the shell all ready to go here in a little bit. I was just waiting for my hot glue gun to get hot. And now what we're going to do real quick is we will remove the old LED and replace it with the blue one. At least that's the idea. This may be a little loud. Gotta put my flux down. Otherwise I will never come back up. Hey everyone, I am back. Alright, I am going to go ahead and remove this blue, or sorry, the red LED with a blue LED. I was waiting for the hot glue gun to warm up to finish with the rest of this particular part of the project. And yeah, right now we're just going to go ahead and remove this from the board. With any luck, this is going to work really, really easy. It won't take me forever. Forgive me if this is loud. Something I've noticed about electronics is that you just don't want to rush it. Sometimes it works like immediately, and then other times it takes just a little bit, finesse. There we go. Sorry, I didn't catch it on camera. I was really busy trying to get that out of there. But that worked. So that's taken care of. Let's go ahead and clean up this. These vias, or vias. Awesome. It's working too. Nope. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these janky old segments of wire that I'm not going to use right now. I'm going to use it to poke a hole through this. We've had problems with these vias before. I think I'm just going to use my tweezers. I'm going to put a little bit more. This flux. Keep running out. I think that worked very well. It's definitely not perfect. I haven't been doing this. I need to do more. I need to practice more. And this is going to be a really long video. My apologies. Yeah, it's going to take me a little bit. Give me a second. Hey everyone. So here's how I have it so far. And I'm getting the LED prepped. To go right here. Perfect. And then I'll wire the other ones up. Excellent. So I decided to change up what LED I wanted to use. And I have one of these really, really bright square ones. And I'm going to use that for the center, but I'm still going to use these other two dimmer ones. I wouldn't even call them dimmer. I'm just going to say smaller, you know. And right now, I had, seriously, everyone, it took me about 2 hours just to get this via cleared. It took absolutely forever, nauseatingly forever. I had to crank my Heiko up to 850 degrees Fahrenheit just to displace the heat drop off of this particular pad, the via pad, because it was all this surface area was sucking it right up, and it was an endless battle of trying to get that broke free. And of course my iron wasn't wanting to cooperate with me either there. Okay, where's my tweezers? Down in the comments section down below, tell me whether or not you've had problems with trying to get solder to apply to a component, or other types of shenanigans that these things like to do for us. Look at that. See the heat drop? As soon as I apply my iron, it's just sucking that heat immediately away from the actual area. It's great for electronics, but it's just a beast to have to work on it. Alright, so let me make sure that I don't want to touch it either. It's brutal hot right now. Yeah. It's such a thermal drop that it won't even bring the solder all the way over to this point, to where it needs to be. Actually, before I do that, there we go. There we go. Cool. Now I believe I can start putting the console together again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to thoroughly adhere these wires to the bottom of the container, or the shell. I will trim this up, clean this up the rest of the way. And then I'll start getting busy on working, getting Zelda cleaned up. And of course we still got to do the jumper pack too for this one. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. That was weird. Cool. Okay, so now I have it all assembled. I will put those wires together here in a little bit. But yeah, everything's all looking really nice, sharp. I did use some hot glue along for the wire, along the trim and stuff, but yeah, it's working out really, really nicely. It's really sharp. And then of course, I used deoxit on all these parts and components. So yeah, excellent. All right, I'll put it together the rest of the way. And then we'll start working on the jump pack and Zelda. That is really cool. The last one I wasn't able to get it completely apart because it was seized to it. Okay, and that side has nothing on it anyway. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and get this all cleaned up. I always wondered what it would have been like if you were able to double out the amount of RAM. Like, say that this chipset right here that you have, and you end up getting the, instead of 2 megs each, 4 megs per sim or dim or whatever they're called. Remember to wear your safety glasses. And last time when we cleaned this, it was, we cleaned the console's socket or slot. And we have a real fun time playing the console here. Give me a second. I'm clear. I remember playing the N64 back in the day when it didn't even need these. But, you know, It didn't even need it. The expansion pack. Although I thought it was really impressive that we were allowed a console to come out a little early before they knew they needed to put more RAM into it. And it was like, you could see that the console had that expansion base specifically for, you know, expandability to improve and upgrade your console. They were definitely thinking ahead, much like what Sega was doing with their products too. It was like thinking ahead for future expandability. It's like, it's proof that the eraser works. You could just see it. Look at that. Versus the dullness of this. It's like night and day. It really does remove all of that verdigris off your copper pads. Okay, I think this is ready to go. Put it back in the console. And I think we can go ahead and test it out. I have a couple games that are, I say, relatively clean enough to go ahead and put inside the console now. Wouldn't be a problem. They'll play. Yeah, can you imagine that? See how much it just see yourself in it. I love that. That's a dramatic effect. That's awesome. I'm back. Let's play a quick game of The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64. Using the level height upscaler and the EasyCap 286 to capture the video. The game plays immediately after we clean the console. I just cleaned the game, and of course, during the console cleaning, the video has been shortened because it would be another half hour long on top of the hour already. So, here we go. We'll play a quick game, make sure the console's working properly. I have already started my character on here. As I said, I've already cleaned the cartridge too, so we're right at the, was it Deku tree? Deku tree? Let's have some fun. I won't recycle the video gameplay either, meaning that this is going to be unique to the console video, and then I'll make another video just for the actual Zelda video so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Just want to make sure that these games work. Excuse me. Now this game's gonna force me to go through this whole process at least 3 times, so just bear with me here. Like I said, it's going to do it at least 3 times. It's going to force me to go through all of this. In the meanwhile, I'm going to look for those plants real quick and get some life. Yeah, it's really slow on that Z targeting. I don't remember it taking so long. It's really an operation. Just take your time and do that. Also at the end right here, don't forget to grab your heart keeper, because my last time that I actually did play this, I forgot the heart keeper, so I had to literally walk all the way back down there again just to get it. And that's just super annoying. Woo-hoo. Alright, I think that does it to keep the video rather comfortably short with an hour long plus. Yeah, so have yourselves a wonderful day. Be healthy. Stay safe. Happy gaming, everyone.